Welcome to From Agenda to Action, a City of Ames podcast to help residents better understand decisions being made at Ames City Council meetings. I'm Susan Gwiasda with City Communications and Outreach. Today we're going to go over the highlights and items discussed at the August 11th Ames City Council meeting. To help me explain the meeting, I'm joined today by Ames Mayor John Haila. John, welcome.
Hi, Susan.
So a relatively short meeting by our recent standards.
Yes.
And but still some really meaty issues. And if we can just dive right in, based on your preview of the meeting, one of the things you discussed was the possibility of a roundabout or roundabout improvements on George W. Carver and Cameron School Road.
Yes, this is in response to the increasing density of developments going on up there on the northwest part of our community. Thanks to the Story County Board of Supervisors who supported not only the initial study, but indicated they were supportive of proceeding with a roundabout project. This project was moved forward to go into the next phase. Just to be clear, Story County did not commit to a specific financial contribution to the project. However, they indicated in general support to allow for applying for a grant from the state of Iowa. The question became, does council want to proceed with a project that is a little more money than what they anticipated, or go with traffic signals at the intersection? And council was supportive of continuing to go on with a roundabout, in part because of the fact that it's could be more seamless in terms of traffic flow, and also it clearly demonstrated that there was a better safety factor in terms of less crashes or less personal injury at that location.
Excellent. Well, we moved from that item right into evaluating the environmental impacts of data centers and a potential study committee.
Correct. This is something that council had voted on to take on themselves, and that is to form and so to speak, an ad hoc committee that would report back to council that would look into a few items that staff felt that they were not capable or qualified to do investigation, and to put a query out to the community looking for local experts, people who were objective, preferably absent bias, that could provide scientific data and information that would help contribute to evaluating if there are additional requirements in our ordinances or regulations, site plan reviews relative to a data center that might want to come to the community. Certainly, the precipitating factor was Light Edge's interest in going out at the airport, but council has made this broader in terms of data centers in general for our community. So they're going to set up a process to allow people to apply and look for different qualified individuals. And then two of the council members, Councilwoman Betcher and B.D. Hansen, are going to serve on that as leading that process. And then also having our ex officio, Trey Anderson, is going to be serving on that. But they'll they'll create a scope of work that's looked for, some very specific parameters, and then also a timeline for the committee to follow and reply back to council.
Yeah, and to be clear, this isn't things like utility usage. These are not factors that staff feels that they have expertise.
That is correct. These are primarily heat generation that might be given off by the facility into the environment, has to do with some human health, and also having to do with impact on wildlife. So it's a little more challenging to look into, but certainly council believes that there are people here in the community, especially with Iowa State University being here, that they could tap into and see if they can provide expertise. And they're also not looking for recommendations what to or not do, to do or not do, but they're looking at specifically what are some things that should be taken in consideration, requirements might be set forth. This is not a environmental review or study being performed on behalf of this particular data center. It's really just looking at parameters and framework for data centers to follow on the basis that council proceeds with ordinances that would allow them to be developed in the community.
Okay, so we'll have to look for some follow-up on that study committee coming up in the next few weeks.
Correct.
The final agenda item that we had some discussion on was the Ames Animal Services facility project update.
Correct. Staff brought back, and a presentation was made by the design firm illustrating the final floor plan, proposed floor plan, the final exterior elevation with alternates shown, in addition to a proposed expenses and sources of revenue to pay for the project. And also there were 8 specific alternates that they're proposing to include in the bid package. So council did move to accept the report that was provided. There was some significant discussion on a couple of the alternate items, but in the end, they gave approval to the concepts. Staff will still be coming back with a proposed timeline for sending this project out to bid, when they're going to come back to council for an award and decision. And also they're going to be looking at the budget a little bit more to make sure they're comfortable with what was proposed.
Okay. Well, there were, of course, other items on the agenda. Those were some of the highlights and some of the things that were previewed. Overall, a very well-run meeting. Thank you, Mayor Haila, for that.
Well, thank you for the compliment. That's our goal is to be efficient in the use of time, respect people that come out to the meetings, as well as staff, and conduct the city business in an efficient manner.
All right. Thank you for joining me. So this podcast is one of the ways the city is working to keep residents informed about what happens at city council meetings. Thank you for joining us, Mayor Haila. And to review this August 11th Ames City Council meeting, our next regular city council meeting will be held on Tuesday, August 25th, and we'll be back both before and after that meeting to help you stay informed.
Thanks, Susan.
From Agenda to Action is a City of Ames podcast.